Forget Europe, 5 cheap hidden gems in the U.S. Hello and welcome to our Retire Early Lifestyle. This is part 2 of a previous video, and I found 5 incredible gems for you right here in the U.S. Remember, nothing is ever cheap in America. When we compare some cities to others, we may find a less expensive cost of living, but never cheap. America is expensive, and we have to deal with that by seeking out less trafficked areas in our own backyard. See what you think. Would we live in these areas I'm going to share with you today? Yes, we would, and it seems that many folks want to know what our criteria would be in choosing an area to live, and so here we go. But remember, everyone's criteria are going to be a little different and maybe a lot different. Are you ready? Let's go. Number 5. Mount Pleasant, Texas. Mount Pleasant is situated about 60 miles in a straight line east of Dallas and has a population of just shy of 17,000 people. It's mostly sunny right now in the middle of winter, with highs in the 50s and lows in the 20s to low 30s. Summers are mostly sunny and hot. How much do you need to live in Mount Pleasant, Texas? The cost of living is actually quite affordable, with a typical home value of just $201,300. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment is around $750, and a two-bedroom is around $850. The cost of living is only a guesstimation, but it's about what it costs to live in Florence, Italy, or Barcelona, Spain. Go figure. So here's how much you need to live in Mount Pleasant, according to Best Places website. For a family, and I'm guessing a family must be 4 people, it's 40.6% less expensive than the national average, and you need a total of $38,520 for the year for a family. And for a single person, it's 55.9% less expensive than the national average, and you need a total of $25,200 for the year for a single person. So Mount Pleasant cost of living score is 24% lower than the U.S. average. Mount Pleasant is just 5 miles to a beautiful lake called Lake Bob Sandlin State Park. There are many things to do in this park, like camping, picnicking, fishing, swimming, walking, and hiking in a special wooded area set up for nature lovers. Shopping and services are excellent for this size of town. Mount Pleasant has a Home Depot and a Lowe's, a Walmart Supercenter, an Aldi, and about 5 other big box grocery stores. Do you like going to the movies? Mount Pleasant has 4 different locations of cinemas, plus they also have an historic 1923 movie house where movies are just $1.50 per seat. The theater is called the Morris Theater. Now that would be interesting to go see a movie here. This is the place to go for all those movies you wanted to go see but never did for one reason or another, and they just play different showings all the time. Every week they have different movies playing. Mount Pleasant has a variety of good restaurants, from steakhouses to fish houses to Indian food to Italian. It looks like some are fine dining restaurants and some are the 24-hour types like IHOP, but the variety is fantastic, as you can see. The ones I'm showing you here are the top 30 best restaurants rated by diners. Now I'm getting hungry just looking at the food. Here are some of the benefits of living in Mount Pleasant. It's not far from the big city of Dallas. It's got a lake and state park for outdoor activities, swimming, fishing, hiking, picnicking, and just enjoying nature in a natural setting all year long. It has numerous grocery shopping stores to choose from, many cinemas. We like the 1920s historic movie theater vibe. It's got a variety of good restaurants to fit every budget. And Texas is really a good place if you're wanting to do a new business startup, and they have no income taxes. Moving on to our next town on the list, Richmond Hill, Georgia. Richmond Hill, Georgia has a population of just 16,700, but has almost tripled in size since 2010. Richmond Hill is 15 miles from Savannah, Georgia, but the great thing about Richmond is, and retirees are going to love this, it's only 15 miles from the beach. The weather right now in the middle of January is 53 degrees. Highs are in the 50s and lows in the 30s. It rarely freezes unless there is a mysterious cold front, as we've been seeing of late. How much do you need to live in Richmond Hill, Georgia? Well, it's a little bit more expensive. For a family of 4, it's 4.4% more expensive than the national average, and it's a total of $67,680 for the year a family needs to make. For a single person, it's 4.2% more expensive than the national average, and you need to, your income needs to be at least $59,600 for the year for a single person. But of course, these are just figures that this place is putting out, but it says Richmond Hill, Georgia gets a best places cost of living score of 98.2, which means the total cost of housing, food, childcare, transportation, healthcare, taxes, and other necessities is 1.8% lower than the U.S. average. Richmond Hill is the most expensive town on our list of 5, and I only listed it because it is a nice, peaceful town and it's just 10 minutes from the beach. Living in a beach city is always going to be more expensive. But remember, these are only averages, and if you're frugal and you know areas where you can save money each month, it's going to be less expensive than what these figures are saying. As we've touched on in other videos, the way to do America is not by paying the going rate for everything, and especially rent, but by putting your own spin on it, which is what we do. So just take these figures with a grain of salt and ask yourself, what would Frank and Angie do? So the median home price in Richmond Hill is approximately $189,300. Rent on a 1-bedroom apartment is about $1,000 and a 2-bedroom is $1,200. So your cost of living will compare to living in places like New Zealand, UK, or Australia. The town of Richmond Hill, just being on the outskirts of Savannah, has everything you could possibly want and need, even though the population is only 16,700. And another great plus is Richmond Hill has a 335-acre recreational park, J.F. Gregory Park. The park has bike and walking trails, picnicking and canoeing on the pretty river that winds through the park. The benefits of living in Richmond Hill, Georgia? Well, the population is less than 30,000, and the town still boasts numerous shopping stores, cinemas, and a variety of restaurants to fit every budget. Remember what I said in part 1. The 30,000 population is a general boundary that we use in order to avoid just being in another big city with big chaotic traffic and more crime. But that's just us. Your mileage may differ. And talking about the other benefits of Richmond Hill, Georgia, it's 15 miles to Savannah. It's only 10 miles from the beach. And it has the 335-acre recreational park with many activities and nature. Number 3, Mountain Home, Arkansas. Mountain Home is a lovely Midwestern affordable town. Arkansas ranks as one of the lowest cost of living areas in the United States. Mountain Home is located in the southern portion of the Ozarks with a population of just 12,500 people, which is a perfect-sized town where you still have all the amenities of a big city. In other words, you receive the same shopping and entertainment value, but with less population, and that's significant. Mountain Home has a Walmart, Lowe's, and several other big box grocery stores and hardware stores. They boast several different movie theater houses and a vast variety of restaurants and shops. Cost of living is much lower than in many other parts of the U.S., so how much will you need to live in Mountain Home, Arkansas? Well, for a family of 4, you need about $3,000 a month, which is 44.4% less expensive than the national average. A total of $36,000 for the year for a family of 4. And for a single person, you need about $2,000. which is 58% less expensive than the national average, a total of about $24,000 for the year for a single person. Mountain Home, Arkansas gets Best Places Cost of Living score of 74.5, which means the total cost of housing, food, child care, transportation, health care, taxes, and other necessities is 25.5% lower than the U.S. average. The median home price in Mountain Home is $187,600. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment is $600, and a two-bedroom will set you back $750. Here's a few rentals I found for you on Zillow. Mountain Home is surrounded by lakes and rivers. After seeing just one of the parks that surrounds Mountain Home, I thought this would keep us busy all summer long, exploring the parks and little river coves and lakes that abound around this town are amazing. We love nature walks and woods, and this fits the bill for us exactly. You wanted to know what our criteria was? Well, this definitely is one of them. As we get older, it is wise to keep moving because it's healthy to keep the blood flowing, and walking, swimming, and enjoying nature is one of the best ways us older folks can do that without pulling a ligament or wearing our bodies out too much. So do you like what you see? Yes, it's beautiful here. Benefits of living in Mountain Home, Arkansas are low cost of living, numerous shopping, restaurants, and entertainment, but still a low population density. It's surrounded by lakes, rivers, and natural habitats of the Ozarks with all kinds of nature lovers' activities from hiking to swimming to boating to birding, whatever you like. Your cost of living in Mountain Home, Arkansas would be comparable to living in Mexico, Chile, or Uruguay. But living in Mountain Home, you're living in a developed country with clean water and way more amenities and comforts. And let's not forget, they speak English here. Mountain Home has a laid-back type atmosphere. It's conservative and the people treat each other with respect. It's one of the more affordable gems that's hard to pass up. Moving on to number 2 on our list, Dyersburg, Tennessee. Dyersburg is situated in the northwestern portion of Tennessee and is about 60 miles from Memphis. We wouldn't want to go any further north in the United States unless you really don't mind a freezing winter with lots of snow. Right now, the weather in Dyersburg is a cold 39 degrees for the high, and the lows are in the 20s, but it is the middle of winter. Expect the rest of January to be in the 30s and low 40s for the high and lower 20s for the lows. Dyersburg has a population of 16,200 people, but has all the big name box stores at your service. Numerous restaurants for dining, and if you just want to grab a burger. It also has many shopping stores. About 25 miles from Dyersburg is the Chickasaw Wildlife Refuge and the Mississippi River. This wildlife territory spans over 25,000 acres of walking and hiking paths which follow along the beautiful Mississippi River. So there's a lot of nature and beauty to take in here. It's also a hunter's paradise. How much will you need to live in Dyersburg, Tennessee? Well, it looks like you need about $2,190 for a family of 4, which is 59.4% less expensive than the national average. You need to make about a total of $26,280 for the year for a family. For a single person, you need $1,967 a month. It's 58.7% less expensive than the national average, and you need to have a total income of $23,600 for the year. It's just a guesstimation. Dyersburg, Tennessee gets a Best Places Cost of Living score of 71.1, which means the total cost of housing, food, childcare, transportation, healthcare, taxes, and other necessities is 28.9% lower than the U.S. average and 20.9% higher than the average for Tennessee. The average price of a home in Dyersburg is about $140,000. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment is around $650, and rent on a two-bedroom is $770 a month. Here's a few houses I found for you on Zillow. Your rent would be comparable to that of Medellin, Colombia, or Cancun, Mexico, or a village in Italy. Benefits of living in Dyersburg, Tennessee. Small town feel, but with all the services, amenities, and conveniences right there. It's only a 1-hour drive to Memphis. It's very affordable living, and it's got a 25,000-acre wildlife refuge for hunting, biking, walking, hiking, fishing, and enjoying nature. And the last town on our list is number 1, Scottsboro, Alabama. Now this is a real gem, everyone. Please don't tell anyone. I'm serious. Scottsboro has a population of 15,570 people, and it has everything you need for your comfort and conveniences. Scottsboro is located in a very good position, being that it is just 30 miles from Huntsville, Alabama, and 25 miles from Chattanooga, Tennessee. What more could you ask for? Notice on the map there are 3 state parks and a wildlife sanctuary no further than 30 or 40-mile drive from Scottsboro. Wow, that's so beautiful. This is just another reason why we love Alabama. Scottsboro is a beautiful town located in the northeastern portion of Alabama. The weather in Scottsboro right now in mid-January, the coldest month of the year, is in the mid to upper 40s and some days seeing 50s for the high. Lows barely get below freezing, and summers are hot and humid. How much do you need to live in Scottsboro? Well, it looks like for a family, according to Best Places, you need about $2,790 a month, which is 48.3% less expensive than the national average, when you need about a total of $33,480 for the year for a family. A single person needs $2,100 a month, which is 55.9% less expensive than the national average, which you need a total of $25,200 for the year for a single person. Scottsboro, Alabama gets a best place cost of living score of 76.7, which means the total cost of housing, food, child care, transportation, health care, taxes, and other necessities is 23.3% lower than the U.S. average and 8.8% higher than the average for Alabama. But remember, these figures are just from this one website that I'm showing you today. So the average home price in Scottsboro is $175,600. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Scottsboro is $650, and a two-bedroom will run you around $750. Benefits of living in Scottsboro, Alabama. They have a low population density but still boast numerous conveniences that offer first-rate lifestyles. Very affordable cost of living. Less than an hour's drive to 2 major cities, Huntsville and Chattanooga, Tennessee. 3 state parks and a wildlife sanctuary less than 40-minute drive from Scottsboro. We can't beat this beautiful town on the lake. Alabama is considered a conservative state, and the people are very welcoming to newcomers. Be respectful and keep the prices affordable, please. Well, everyone, that's all we have for you today. 5 wonderful gems right here in your own backyard. Let us know which town out of these 5 towns you would consider, if any. All right, everyone, take care, stay safe, and blessings to you all. Bye-bye.